For many of us, starting and running our own clothing brand is the absolute dream. And in 2021, it has never been easier than ever to start your own clothing brand. With so many suppliers, websites, applications, print-on-demand services, and options to choose from, it has never been easier to turn around and basically just start one. But it's not as easy as you think, and let me tell you why. First of all, we need to rewind all the way back to 2012. In 2012, I started doing a sport called Parkour. And in 2012, Parkour was still relatively new. It had only been in the UK for around 9 to 10 years at that point. Because of this, the sport was still developing, not only as a sport, but as an industry. There were very few people making money from parkour back in 2012, and those who were kind of not going about it the right way. My friend JimmyTheGiant did a fantastic video on this, which I thoroughly recommend you go check out. But as a young 13-year-old back in 2012, I became obsessed with this sport, its industry, and its culture. With the rise of YouTube, loads of parkour teams and brands started popping up, and with that, the clothing did as well. Fast forward a few years and the parkour industry is now booming, with clothing specifically made for parkour and parkour streetwear being available and developed by all of these teams and brands. As well as that, some brands have even found success from outside of the parkour world. And it was around this time that all these brands started popping up all over the place that I really start taking an interest in fashion and specifically parkour as a whole. So in 2019, at the age of just 20 years old, I decided to launch my own parkour clothing brand. Contendunt started in March 2020 with our first item going on release in May later that year. We started with 50 t-shirts, selling 40 of those t-shirts in the first 2 weeks and then managing to shift the rest of the stock by the end of the year. After a few months, we then released a second drop, this time with a black t-shirt in a more limited quantity, as well as some caps. Again, both of those products saw relative success. Back then and even now, I'm not a huge name in the parkour community. However, because I spent the year of 2018 really traveling around, getting to know people, going to events, I managed to kind of network, so there were people that when it eventually dropped wanted to buy the clothing. However, it was later in 2019 that I hit a little bit of a brick wall with the clothing brand. And it kind of hit me, it was like, what do I do now? What you'll find with most clothing brands, especially those in the parkour community, is they will release a product drop first, which is normally just a logo t-shirt, a hoodie, or a hat. After that, I hadn't really planned ahead. I had no idea what products I wanted to release next or what designs I was going to add. All of this combined with an error of pricing margins just meant that the business really didn't have the money to make what we wanted to make. So after a few weeks of research, we actually came across something called print-on-demand drop shipping. With this method, we didn't have to buy stock, meaning we didn't have to invest loads of money up front. All we would do is order a few samples, test them out, make sure they were good, take the photos, upload them to the site, and then the integrations did the rest. The integration means it was automatically printed and shipped out as soon as the order hit our store. At first, this method was fantastic because it meant that we could print and release new items on a more regular basis. But it had a lot of issues. We started doing back and front printing, and there were some kind of issues going on with the printing company. They seemed to miss the back print on a lot of the products, which obviously sparked a lot of emails from our customers to me, and then emails from me to the company. It was at this time as well that the COVID-19 pandemic did start to hit, meaning that the print-on-demand company had to shut down, which essentially grinded us to a halt. Throughout 2020, our releases were becoming a little bit irregular. Because of the coronavirus pandemic, the print-on-demand's turnaround times slowly went from 2 days to 4 days to 7 days to sometimes even 2 weeks for certain products. Because of this, I really lost motivation about making products and then putting them to store and selling them to our customers. I also didn't feel fantastic because the customer was waiting so long to receive their order. In some cases, it was 3 weeks. This resulted in a very lazily designed Autumn/Winter 20 collection, which was essentially just a few items with our logo printed onto them. Looking back, it was a terrible idea and I was really not happy with this drop. As 2020 drew to a close, I was really sat there considering what the future was for this brand. I was really close to shutting it down. This is due to things like marginal errors, because I was trying to price my items so people would buy them, not to make profit. This just meant that the brand was barely making any money to keep its head above the water. What I've learned from this is if people do truly love the design, they will buy it at no matter what cost. And if they want to support you, they'll do the same thing as well. Which leads me into the next error, which is the business to customer relationship. By using the print-on-demand service, it very quickly became apparent that I didn't have as much control over the brand and the business as I would have wanted. And because of this, over time, trust in the brand slowly started falling. Customers weren't returning, sales were down, and the printing issues were just the start of it all. It was damaging the brand's reputation. So towards the end of 2020, I was really considering shutting Contendunt down and just admitting that I had failed. But then I thought I would give it one last chance. In January 2021, I really decided to just go ham on the business. I really wanted to put my all into it. I really wanted to be transparent with our customers and essentially build the brand up into something that I loved doing again. So I got to work, I started kind of testing the waters. I started learning a lot more about how to run a brand. I was also looking a lot more into photo manipulation and image designing as well as looking and sampling heavily new blanks for us to use for the next collection. I also took on a team of individuals to help me promote the business, which is our sponsored athletes. And I also sent design ideas to family and friends and got them to ask their friends and their family what they thought of the designs. And in March 2021, we finally released the Movement Never Dies capsule, which is a 4-piece capsule consisting of 2 t-shirts and 2 hoodies. The capsule I can see as a kind of rebirth to the business. After applying things I had learned from my digital marketing apprenticeship, business videos on YouTube, and loads of tutorials and courses that I'd been doing, the release of the capsule saw the best sales that the brand has ever had since we first started, with this March being the most profitable month that we've had on record. And with some slightly smarter margins, this led us onto the next step. While the print-on-demand service was good for some products, it really limited us to what we could do with the brand. We really want to have as much control as possible. So with all the profits from the Movement Never Dies capsule, as well as an incredibly generous donation and some insightful conversations with friends, YouTubers, and other business owners, we decided to hit the reset button. So we are very soon announcing our Change to Survive t-shirt, which symbolizes the revival of our struggling business. These t-shirts can be the first items that we've actually kept in-house since the Autumn/Winter 19 release, and it means we can add personal touches such as swing tags and personal notes to say thank you to our customers. We've now also invested in a heat press machine as well, which means we can print our essentials collection in-house and can provide better quality and customer service. It also means that we can bring more products to events and start interacting with our customer base a lot more and give them that in-person shopping experience rather than just e-commerce. The whole journey has been immensely crazy and I cannot wait for the future of this business. So on this channel, we'll be providing a little bit of more regular insights into what the brand is doing, as well as keeping up with regular videos on the brand's growth, training, adventures, travel, and so on. So if you do want to support Contendunt, please visit the link at the top of the description and visit the online store. And it would also be massively appreciated if you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn the notification bell on so you are notified every time that we upload a video. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.